It's Dale D'Antoni here. Welcome to the Sofa Sessions. D'Antoni, Wines.
Welcome back to episode 69 of the Sofa Sessions podcast. This week we have on Sarah Massey, a local filmmaker, camera operator, video editor, photographer in the Augusta area. It was a lot of fun to sit down with her and just learn about film because I know nothing about films, but I love watching films. So yeah, she does really good work. She's come out with, she came out with a documentary called Create or Die. Definitely go check that out. I have not finished it, but I will be finishing it very soon. By the time this is out, I probably have already finished it. So definitely go check that out. Just go and check out everything that she's done because she just does amazing, thoughtful work, right? I haven't seen anything bad from her yet is what I'm going to say right now. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun for her to sit down and just explain a lot about film and just the kind of area that she is in and just her experiences with making this stuff, the criticism that comes with it and all that kind of stuff, and just the long, strenuous hours that they work, you know, to make content for us peasant humans that know nothing about film. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, to be honest. She was just explaining everything while I was sitting here like a little schoolboy, you know, learning. So yeah, definitely go check out her stuff. It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for listening to this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. You know, it's like a 20-foot long cord on this.
I've never listened to myself on a headset. Oh, that's.
How do you feel? Is it weird?
Yeah, it is weird. I might have to do it without the headset.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we'll go no headset. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, welcome. Have you ever been on a podcast before?
I have.
You have?
I
Dang
have,
it.
yeah.
How was it?
It was good.
Okay, so
The first podcast I was on, it was my friend Cody Curtis's podcast, Artists and Emotions.
okay.
And so he talks to different artists in the film industry, and it was my first time being on a podcast.
Oh, dang.
So I was very nervous.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let me tell my entire life story.
Dang it, man.
Try to make it interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you can make it interesting. You just have to use certain words, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does the setup look professional?
It really does. Yeah.
What would you
I'm
grade
impressed.
it? What would you grade it if you had to, kind of?
I mean, honestly, so I've done some acting self-tapes. I don't focus mainly on acting, but I have working actor friends who do self-tape setups, and they always use these kinds of lights with the soft boxes.
Yeah. Do you know how much theirs are by chance? Like how much
they cost?
Yeah, like how much your friends spent on them?
I don't know. I mean, I have LED lights that I bought on Amazon, and I think they were like $50 each. But I also have a light that cost me $400. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
that's a lot.
it's a
of
great
money.
light, but it's for
Yeah, these are
filmmaking.
yeah, these are like $90.
Oh, that's
for
good.
both of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they work pretty well.
Those
I'm
are
about to
nice.
start wearing sunglasses, honestly.
Right. Yeah, every time I turn on a light when I'm doing a film shoot, I have to tell my clients, don't look at it. And then the second I say that, they immediately turn and look straight at the light right when I turn it on.
It's like moth to a flame, bro.
Yeah. Don't look at it.
But yeah, are you nervous at all? Like, how are you feeling right now?
No, I'm pretty excited.
Okay, sweet,
yeah.
sweet. Yeah, so you're a big cat lover, I guess?
I am a huge cat lover. Yeah, so actually, so my mom is allergic to cats. So when I was a kid, we always had dogs.
Boo.
Well, I did have a little Yorkie for 14 years, and this was the most cat-like dog I've ever seen. He loved to just sit in the sun, lick his paws.
Yeah.
He was so happy.
Yeah, it's a little feline.
Yeah. And he loved cats.
Yeah.
So when he got older, I was like, I really want to get him a friend, a cat friend, because I know how much he loves cats. And so I ended up getting, so his name was Oreo.
Yeah.
So I got Twix.
Twix.
Yeah.
I like it.
He's a cute little guy. He's a little 7-pound cat.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, he's so tiny.
Sparky, the one you met, it was like 20 pounds. Yeah, he's
That's a chonky.
Yeah, he's
chunky
healthy.
kitty.
He's pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of getting stalked on right now by the other cat. Should we be
Hi,
watching
cutie. You want to come get in the spotlight?
She was sitting in this chair the other day, so I thought about having her on the podcast.
You should do that.
Yeah, she'd have a lot to say.
She's gorgeous. I mean, I have to ask my boyfriend. He has like, he loves to like adopt rescue cats. So he has 5 indoor cats, and then he's got 5 stray cats outside that he feeds, and a couple raccoons. But
Trash pandas.
yeah, oh my gosh, he's got this one. I think she's maybe like 6-8 months old now. This one cat outside, about her size, but she's gray and has the most distinct tiger stripes all over. She's so beautiful. I'm like, I want this cat, but she's so skittish. Like, she's not ever going to be an indoor cat.
You have to trap her. Like, you have to use a trapper or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does that to get them fixed.
Yeah, 5 cats in this house. Does it like smell good inside the house? Because that's what I worry about. Because we have 2, and I'm always like conscious that you know people are gonna come in and smell it.
Right. It's a constant thing for him. That was like one of the first things that like really impressed me about him is how clean his house is. Because he told me he has 5 cats. So I go over. We were doing a film shoot at his house, and I go over and I'm like expecting to see like just tufts of hair and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's spotless. How do you do this? But it is wild keeping up with 5 animals.
Yeah, I would love to have like so many cats, like outside. You know, it would kill all the bugs and stuff, and I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I just put a post out yesterday on my social media. My cat Twix loves to come up and curl up right next to me while I'm editing on my laptop.
Yeah,
and it's only when I'm on my laptop he's suddenly like, I need attention right now.
Yeah,
I'm like, buddy, I'm trying to make money. Little space here. So I jokingly call him my assistant editor.
Yeah,
and so I have all these pictures of him like right there while I'm editing.
Yeah, she does that a lot. Even like, because me and my girlfriend, we play Fortnite together.
Oh, fun.
So I'll play on the Xbox and she'll play on the computer back there.
Oh, cool.
And like, yeah, she'll sit over there with her, and I'll have to sit by myself. But it's all cool. I have the other cat sit with me sometimes because he was. I originally got him like back in 2020. I had like begged my dad for like months to get him, and then he finally let me get a cat, so I got him. And then we got together. So then we moved in together, and we moved him in. And then she's like, I want a cat so he's not lonely. And I'm like, he's not that lonely. I don't know.
No, that's me with my cat because I was living with some family members. So he was used to being around more people.
Yeah.
And then now that I am living by myself, I feel like he's expecting so much extra love from me, which I enjoy the extra cuddles.
Yeah.
But every time I leave the house, I'm like, he's gonna miss me. He's all alone.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to adopt.
Yeah. So I just say do it, you know?
Yeah. Did you adopt yours from like a litter or a shelter?
Sparky, the bigger one, I got him from dogs and cat networking agencies. Like it was like a Facebook group, and then we got her in Colombia from like a pound kind of place or something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she was like sending me pictures of like $250 cats, $350 cats. And I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna pay that much for a cat. That's crazy. And there's so many like, you know, in like the shelters and stuff like that. So
right.
We had to do that.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're like a filmmaker. How is that? Is that fun to do, or?
It is. So it all started, I think I was about 10. And my parents had gotten a digital camera, a Kodak camera, which is very, very vintage now, but it was a big deal. Back then, we didn't have to take it into the pharmacy and get it exposed or developed. So yeah, like at 10 years old, I was like, all right, so I am going to be the family photographer.
Yeah.
I really enjoy using this camera thing. Love it. So for my 11th birthday, my parents bought me my own camera. Again, just a little like pocket camera. But it had a video record button.
Uh-oh.
And the rest is history. Been doing that ever since.
Wow.
But yeah, when I was in high school, I got very involved with community theater. So I grew up in Aiken, South Carolina, and they have a really awesome high school program at the Aiken Community Theater. And I got very into acting and ended up making a short film, a docu-short. And yeah, just got really interested in doing that on a freelance basis as a career.
Dang.
Yeah.
Is it scary being like freelance? Because like you're depending on yourself now.
Wow, you really hit the nail on the head with that question because, yes, I have had this conversation with so many of my friends who are also freelance filmmakers or actors, which have to work in a way freelance. It is scary. You gotta hustle.
Yeah.
It's hard because you don't have a consistent paycheck. And I mean, I get clients all the time who will cancel even last minute. So I've had to create a good policy of having contracts and non-refundable deposits and cancellation
it's getting legit, bruh.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, like I've had gigs where, you know, you have to buy gear to do said gig, and if the client then cancels, it's awkward because you've just spent money on gear, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, man, getting started in filmmaking is definitely an investment. Tens of thousands of dollars in gear. I know people who have entire grip trucks full of gear.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But it is rewarding if you can just push through the initial start.
Yeah, sometimes that 9 to 5 kind of sounds pretty good.
It does, but I do have a lot of friends who have done the 9 to 5 with local commercial companies and film production companies and have ended up quitting and going back to freelance.
Yeah. Are they just like not that good, or like why are they leaving?
So there's a couple big companies in the area like Brandon Agency, Oak Film Company, to name a few, that work with some pretty big clients. I mean, I have a friend that got to fly out west and interview Michael Phelps.
Oh, wow.
I mean, pretty sweet gig.
Yeah.
But I think film, whether you're working for a company or working freelance, it's going to eat into your free time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overtime, a lot of weekends you got to spend. I've had somebody reach out to me for a gig that would have been an overnight edit. So it's like, I will deliver the footage to you in the afternoon and I'm going to need it the next morning.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So you've got to have a flexible schedule. When you're a filmmaker and you want to create your own content, if you're working for a company, even if you're making very cool content, you're not going to have the free time. You might need to create, you know, if you want to make short films or feature-length films, you might not have that time. And so it's kind of a choice of like, do I want to prioritize my own projects and make my own schedule versus do I just want that steady paycheck and go make somebody else's content?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you, because like with the podcast, I have to have, well, I don't have to, but like I want to have like a new guest every week. Yeah. So it's like I have to meet somebody new every week and have them on. So it's scary sometimes. Yeah. It's like the anticipation of meeting someone it gets to me sometimes, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that was one of the struggles I had early on getting into building my freelance career, is just networking. Yeah. It's so important. Everybody I know in the film industry or, you know, involved in podcasting and other forms of artwork have to prioritize getting out there and meeting people, and it's nerve-wracking.
It is so hard sometimes.
Yeah.
I get so nervous, and I think a lot of people think I'm extroverted, but like down inside I'm really introverted because I don't know, it's just hard to go up to people and just randomly talk to them, you know. And then I have to sit down with them and then talk to them for a long time.
Right.
So it's hard sometimes. So I feel you with the freelance thing.
I recently there's a group, what's it called? A Georgia Film Connection, I believe, that creates these big mixers, and they have filmmakers. I think they do them like maybe 4 times a year, and it's near Atlanta. And recently I drove 3 hours out to this. It was like a a farm that's kind of like a wedding venue.
Yeah.
That can also be like a film location. So they were advertising the property, but it was like way out in the country. And I drove 3 hours just to get there. It started at like 6, I think, and I stayed there till like 9.
Oh, wow.
And it was just, I mean, this barn full of people from like all different departments in the film industry. And they were just like, yeah, go meet people. So it's just like walking up to stranger after stranger, like, hi, what do you do? Like,
That's even worse.
Yeah,
Because
it
it's
was
like, it's all set up. Like, I feel like going out into public would be way better than, you know.
right.
Yeah.
Well, it depends, like, especially like when you're trying to meet a specific niche of people in the industry, to try to get everybody together. But as far as like networking within a community, which is also important, it's fun to go out and, you know, see who you can meet.
Yeah.
It's important, especially on a lower budget level in film. And I've co-directed and DP'd several feature films.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
What does DP mean?
So director of photography. So that's the person who decides what camera shots, what camera angles, what
Dang, I should
lighting
have a
style.
notepad or something.
Yeah. It's very fun. It's a lot of work, and you're creating kind of the visual style of the film. So I very much enjoy doing that. But I've had the opportunity to both DP and co-direct 2 feature films that were both about $50,000.
Oh, wow.
That seems like a lot of money, but it's actually not in the film industry.
Yeah.
A pretty decent indie film is going to be, you know, anywhere from like maybe $200,000 to like $1 million, $2 million.
Holy cow.
So there's like, when you think of 50,000, when you break it down, your lead actors are going to make about $4,000 a piece. You know, like the money gets spent very quickly just to pay people a working wage. And, but when you're on that level, you can't afford to hire, you know, big name actors or, you know, crew from Atlanta or get really big locations. So you have to build a network of local actors or people who are good on camera that might not be doing that as their career, but they want to help you out. They want to do it for
I would
fun.
do it for free.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. One of the directors I work with, he directed and we co-directed 2 of these feature films. His policy is always to like at least compensate somebody with $100, you know, for their work. Like whatever you can give them something, because it makes people take the job more seriously.
Yeah.
And also not feel like you're, you know, using them.
Yeah. I just feel like the opportunity of that would be fun.
Yeah.
You know, to like be surrounded by all the cameras and stuff. I think that's interesting as well.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm actually an actor as well.
Really?
Not really. I was an extra in a TV called The Righteous Gemstones.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of it?
I haven't heard of that.
Dang it, it's really good.
Okay,
But
where's it on?
it's on HBO Max.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's about like this. It's like a parody of the super mega churches. You know how like they're all like, I'm using this money because God told me to, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just like a parody based off of that, and it has one of my
Okay.
favorite actors in it. So
Nice. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
yeah, I'm in like season 3, episode
Okay.
2. So I don't know. I don't even remember, but yeah, I had to go down to Charleston for that, and
Fun.
I had to leave like 3 o'clock in the morning because I had to be there like at 6. What's it called? Like the call times or whatever.
Yes.
Call time was at 6. You know,
Ooh,
so
that's early.
yeah. And then the next day was like 7. So I just slept in my car, and it was like a 12-hour thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really sucked, but I got paid for it. You know.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the experience is fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Even if like, especially for background work, if the pay isn't that much, the experience can be fun just to like be there and be like, oh, this is how it's done.
Yeah.
Which it's always much more boring than people think.
It is, yeah. I
Long
never
hours.
realized how many times they have to say the same lines over and over again. Like how many times they have to refilm it is just crazy.
Yeah. But that is cool that you've had that experience. But yeah, like just networking locally, like, even, oh my gosh, location scouting. So I've done that for, a short film, a couple feature films. Man, hats off to people who do that as a career, who are location scouts, location managers.
They just go out and look
professionally.
for locations?
Yeah, so they're paid by
wow.
big production companies to find locations, but they have, like, the ones that do it full time have the budget to deal with local film commissions, to contact government officials if they need to block off roads, get permits if they need to, have any kind of fire or explosions or whatever. Like, there's just so much paperwork. Whenever you see something with a fight scene in a house, like, somebody has allowed that production company to come in. And I've heard stories that, I mean, pretty much every Hollywood movie, when they leave a location, they're going to dish out 10, 20 plus K just on repairs for the location. So when you're on my level and you do not have that money, I've shot action.
Yeah.
But it was at a friend's house who was a filmmaker who was helping me crew my movie. And he was like, yeah, feel free to shoot in my house. And I had to pull my actors aside and I was like, we do not have the money to refloor his house.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am going to need to make sure there is no scratch on his house or furniture. We had like tablecloths. We put mats down with padding. We moved everything glass out of his living room. But just finding locations for film is very difficult, which is why it's good to have a network.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, man, like getting into filmmaking and understanding the logistics of how to put together something has been wild.
Yeah. It seems like so much stuff.
It
like,
is.
Stuff I wouldn't even think about.
Right.
Is there.
Yeah. It's, it's really about like developing your people skills. When you're in the director role, learning to work with actors, learning to motivate your crew, when it's hour 10, hour 12, how to keep everybody's energy going, thinking of all the logistics, like feeding everybody and scheduling it, building connections in the community that will be long-term.
Yeah.
Giving back to people, like if you're on the level where it's like, I can't pay you anything, but I will work a gig for you for free.
Yeah.
I'll help you with your project if you help me with mine,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the location scouting, do you ever knock on doors? Or have people done that before?
I have reached out to friends and given them kind of like a list of the locations I need and asked them like, hey, do you know of any locations? And I've had some people who are like, hey, I'll go reach out to my network.
Oh,
and that's actually, it's worked out really well. Like there was a feature film we did and we needed a house and a friend of mine was a house sitter for a guy who owned this gorgeous giant house.
Yeah.
In a gated community in Montmorency, Martinez. I don't know why I always get those two mixed up. I'm from Aiken, so, But yeah, Martinez. And he was like, come on in, film in any room you want.
Really?
We had to film a scene where we broke a table. And we put down mats, like we made sure nothing was going to get scratched. But I was like, there's no way, like, he's okayed this.
Yeah.
We've been very clear about how we're doing it, what we're doing. This actor had to just scream like she was going through some stuff.
Yeah.
And just start smashing cups and glasses. And he comes in 20 minutes later. Hey, everybody, how's it going? I'm like, you just heard that, right?
Yeah.
No, he was so chill.
Maybe was he old?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's probably why I didn't hear it. He didn't have his stuff in or whatever.
He was, I think he was just so excited to have a film crew in his house, which is normally not what we get, but love that energy.
Dang, I feel like that would be fun. Like if I had a house and, well, I do have a house, but like if I had a house that was big like that, I think I would definitely do that.
Well, see, that's the thing though. A place like this, man, it's so hard to find a small cabin or house, apartment, trailer, because I needed one for a short film I shot. We ended up having to find an Airbnb to shoot in because every single person I knew has a big house, and somebody in their family is really into interior design, and the entire thing is done up with, like, you know, the Southern farmhouse glam look. And I'm like, guys, I just need a trashy apartment. They're like, I don't know anybody with a trashy apartment. I'm like, okay, like, you can try to make it look that way with, like, because obviously you're gonna bring in props and blankets and pillows and stuff, but sometimes it's just the structure of the house. You need a small room or something. It's things that you wouldn't think of. You'd think, oh, it's so simple to find somebody who has this. And you can't. Like, we filmed scenes that had to take place at a hospital. And man, you get this close, you get one person who's like, yeah, we've got at a university, maybe like a nursing lab or something, and then they're like, oh, sorry, the department head doesn't want you in here, or, you know, something like that. So I will give a big shout out to Warrenton, Georgia. I know some people there involved with film locations. There's a studio, a location scout, Tammy Carden, who's been so helpful in our films, for getting us connected. I love the small town energy where they're like, yes, come on in.
We need more people here. So do you think like this kind of setup would be like work good for like a short film or something, like the house or whatever, like the interior? What do you think?
Yes, absolutely.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends on what the content is. But the fact is, when I've looked for locations, I've prioritized locations that look lived in. So if you go for like an Airbnb, like it's too clean. It's too clean. You want something where there's just stuff. Because that's what people's houses look like. So I do have to give a little plug to a project I am currently promoting that I just released. It's my first project to ever get on a get distribution and be on a streaming platform. But for anybody watching this, and for you, if you're ever interested in seeing what indie filmmaking is like, I made a documentary about my boyfriend, who is a director in Colombia. He made a film 2022. And my documentary tells the story of the making of that film.
Oh, it's like a behind the scenes.
It is.
Yeah, I think I watched a little bit of it.
Okay, it's called Create or Die, and it's on Zumo, Amazon Prime. But I was not present for the making of that film, so I was able to interview the cast and crew. And then I also relied on photos, videos that they took behind the scenes. So it was a very interesting project, because normally with a documentary, you would actually follow along with the camera. It was very interesting in hindsight creating something. But it was also cool because I wasn't there, so it was fun hearing that story. I worked with all of those people that I interviewed, but it was cool because I know why I'm a filmmaker. I know why I love film, why I'm passionate for it, despite the difficulties. But the message of my documentary, Create or Die, was me asking them why they are doing it. Why do they want to go through all of these hardships, spend all of their hard-earned money, like spend all of this time, all their free time? Like we shot a feature film, Left One Alive. We shot for 20 straight days.
Oh my gosh.
So a lot of people, they just took all of their vacation time and for the year. And we shot this movie. Why do that? You know?
What were some of the responses? Like, were they interesting? Was it like, were some of them weird, you know?
Well, I feel like in a way everyone in the film industry is slightly weird. To people outside of the industry. I think people love to consume content But the people that spend all of their time making it, like, that's a mystery. I've had people come up to me and be like, oh, do you do that acting thing?
Yeah, how's that acting thing going?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, this is a legitimate career, but okay, I understand. I don't work in a cubicle, so it's confusing to you. But yeah, it was very interesting because a lot of the responses I got mirrored my own feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's people who, even when they tried to walk away from creating, ended up coming right back. And it was kind of for me, and for everybody else that I interviewed, we all feel like it's a very innate thing.
Yeah.
We got to do this, you know? It's we got to eat, we got to breathe air, we got to create.
Yeah. Yeah. Or die.
Yeah. Even if people don't really watch our stuff, and that's something I've been experiencing in promoting my documentary. So I've never had a project that would be of any interest to movie reviewers or critics. And due to our distribution deadline, because it was kind of a last-minute project that ended up scoring its own distribution. I'm excited about that, but I wasn't able to have a festival run.
Dang it.
So, you know, if a project gets into festivals, you can end up getting more publicity. But without any of that, I had to create a list of like 100 movie critics that would even give a movie of this budget the time of day. And I had to submit to each one individually, just to try to get reviews.
Yeah.
And when you do that, like, if somebody does decide to watch your movie and write a review, you have no idea what they're going to say. And, you know, I've been fortunate to get very good reviews for it, which I've appreciated. But there are still people who will come back and be like, oh, it was kind of bland. It was not cinematic. The editing choices were interesting, you know, and you're like, oh my, I spent so much time on this, you know?
Yeah.
So it's learning to say, okay, you know, not everybody's going to like your stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's hard to figure out because like to you, like it's your world, you know, but like when other people look at it, they're like, nah. And they just like, you know, they swipe away. But, So yeah, it's same like with the podcast. People, I don't know. They just sometimes don't listen to it, or I haven't had any hate yet. So
okay, that's
maybe I don't know, but yeah, I haven't had any hate yet for it. So hopefully I don't. I think that would hurt me.
Yeah.
Because I spend so much time on this, so you know, it would be heartbreaking to see that someone is like, oh, this is trash. This sucks. You know. So
yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, you know, I'll get over it though.
Yeah.
So.
You know, that's the thing. I mean, I think it was helpful that when I was a teenager, I did have a brief stint doing movie reviews on YouTube. And I did just like little videos on, you know, whatever blockbuster I wanted to go see. And it was a little bit nerve-wracking for me because I felt like I had to create interesting content that people would want to see.
Yeah.
And then I would get people in the comments being like, your voice is annoying or you're too pale. I mean, it was always very physical things, like criticisms. And I'm like, what? Okay, I'm sorry. You could watch any movie reviewer you want.
Yeah.
But you felt like spending that 15 minutes writing a message to me telling me I need to go get a tan. Okay.
Yeah, the things that people say are also just so weird. Like you would never even think about it, you know? Like I made a video about a YouTuber who had a falling out with another pretty big YouTuber.
Okay.
And at the time I was using like USB mics, so they're not good. So every like sentence you could hear, like I don't even know how to describe it, but like if you're listening to somebody talking, you can hear like their lips smacking.
Yes.
Yeah, you could hear that like almost every sentence I was saying, and at the time I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
So then that video blows up. It got like 40,000 views, and then at that point I was getting comments like, "Good video. I hate the lip smacking." And then it was like, "This is an ASMR video," but like some people were also pretty nice about it. So yeah, like your lips smacking for 5 minutes straight in front of 40,000 people. That's kind of scary.
My biggest video, I think I got 50,000 views.
Dang.
And it was because I reviewed one of the Marvel movies.
Oh no.
And I can't remember what I said, but it was when it was I think it was the Iron Man 3 movie, I think. And I used the wrong name for one of the characters.
Oh, bet you got blasted on that one.
I'm just like, okay, guys, I didn't grow up reading comic books. I'm really trying here. Like, I'm as big of a fan of the Marvel movies as you guys. I don't mean any disrespect, but like, cut me some slack here. Okay.
What were the comments saying? What were they like?
I mean, just like basically implying that I'm an idiot and just
Stupid girl, don't watch superhero movies. Bunch of boy caveman talk, probably.
Yeah. You know, it comes with the job, and you just gotta learn to tune it out. Have a really, really good support team that you trust. Like, there's a couple people I know, if I send them my content and whatever they tell me, I can trust that that's truthful. And I can trust their judgment. Like, if they tell me I need to change something in something I'm editing, I should probably go ahead and do it. And then there are other people that I appreciate their opinions, but you know, I don't know. I've been on film shoots where one person comes up to me and goes, "You're not using enough establishing shots. You need to get some really wide shots."
Yeah.
Then I'm doing another shoot, and somebody comes up to me and goes, "You're not getting close enough to the faces. Your shots aren't tight enough." And it's like, okay, interesting. And then you go watch something like Poor Things, the new Emma Stone movie. I don't know have you seen it?
Nah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so as far as cinematography, like, it is so beautifully shot. It's gorgeous. But they dead ass used a fisheye lens for a couple shots. It's circular. Like, there's like black on the edge of the screen.
Yeah.
And it's just a circle. And
Is that a cardinal sin?
I've never seen it done in cinema. I'm sure somebody's done it.
Yeah.
But it's like, in the film world, there are certain generic rules that you learn about in film school, everybody talks about, everybody aspiring to be a good filmmaker tries to follow these rules, and then you've got the people that want to be their own thing, break those rules.
Yeah.
And sometimes they fail, and sometimes they succeed beautifully. So there are certain aspect ratios, or not aspect, focal lengths for lenses that we like to use because they look, quote unquote, more cinematic.
Yeah.
So 50 millimeter, 35 millimeter. But I've recently been noticing filmmakers who will use a wide angle lens and get right in on a person's face. And I actually did that a little bit in a short film that I'm currently finishing up. And it was really cool. It can give kind of like a warped perspective. Like, if you take a wide angle lens and get really close to a person's face, it makes their face like rounder.
Oh gosh.
Which can be cool if you're, the scene that I was shooting for my short film is somebody who we think is having a bad case of paranoia or maybe schizophrenia. He's not, but at that point in the short film, I want people to think that. So I get right up in his face and he's freaking out about something. And it gives kind of a warped perspective. So there can be cool things that you can create by not following those generic rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's exciting because it's like, I guess, knowing when to break the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. Do you have any siblings?
I do not.
Oh, okay. Your
Yeah.
last name. I used to work with. I actually work with a guy now with the same last name. So I was just wondering.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of Masseys in the area, but my family's actually from Tennessee.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I'm not related to any of them.
Dang. How was it like growing up an only sibling?
Pros and cons.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, I don't know, like, you get really good about being imaginative and, like, playing by yourself.
Yeah.
as a kid. So like in that regard, I kind of wished I had some siblings that I could, beat up on,
Yeah.
But then again, like then, you get more time with your parents. You get more stuff
Yeah.
as a kid.
You get more money spent on you. That's probably a bonus.
There's that. So, as
Christmases
a kid,
are insane, probably.
yeah. So as a kid wanting camera gear.
Yeah. That probably came in clutch.
It did. How about you?
Yeah, I have a brother.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was basically the only child by the time I hit middle school.
Okay,
He was,
gotcha.
with his friends.
Yeah.
Kinda, and I was the. I'm not going to use the words he used, but I was the lame younger brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to his friends. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. That's classic older brother energy right there.
I talked to his friend like a couple years ago, and he was like, "Yeah, your brother used to introduce you as mentally handicapped."
Oh my.
Yeah, so yeah, it was obviously he was joking, but
Right.
yeah, that was just that was the brother I had. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
we're cool now, so everything's cool. But
Yeah.
that's just funny to me that I was introduced as that. So
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
older siblings, you gotta love them, So you definitely didn't miss out on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, being the younger brother, I always wanted a younger sibling. So I don't know, but
Yeah. Though I will say I know a couple middle kids.
oh yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah,
The middle kid is, I don't know, sometimes the one that's just like doing their own thing,
kind of being left out almost.
I guess, or just kind of like, like the parents, like, oh, this is our first kid.
Yeah.
And then, oh, this is our baby.
Yeah.
And then the middle kid's like, all right, so I'm going to just be off doing my own thing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, gosh, which can be a good thing, depending, whatever.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how you take it.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom's a middle kid, and then my boyfriend's a middle kid, so.
Do they act like they're middle kids?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, yeah,
Definitely. No, I saw a TikTok the other day. I can't remember the points the guy was making, but he was like dating a middle kid, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Checks all the boxes.
Yes.
But yeah, you said a lot of people in the film industry are weird. Is the stigma around like theater kids in high school, is that true? Like they were really
so
weird?
I was a theater kid.
Dang.
Yeah, in high school. Not one of the crazier ones, because I feel like I did more like crew stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a lot of friends that I'm very close with that I met in musical theater, and whenever we hang out, let's just say there's lots of screaming. We're very hoarse by the end of the time we hang out with all the theater projection.
Oh, I thought it was because you guys were yelling at each other.
No, we're just like very animated, I think, theater kids. I've taken acting classes and film acting classes, to clarify. And the instructors have said, raise your hand if you're a musical theater kid. And, like 4 of us will raise our hands, and they're like, oh no. So I'm just going to need you to take your energy and just bring it to 1/10.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is good in networking to have that energy because, like you were saying, you can fool everyone into thinking you're very extroverted when you're not. It'll serve you well. So yeah, I'm glad I had that musical theater experience. I think it's a good segue into film.
To get introduction.
Right. But yeah, we are very crazy. We're proud of it.
Yeah.
Very proud of it.
At least you're, as long as you're proud of it, That's really cool.
Like we are the kids that, goodness, we grew up, oh my gosh. So we grew up in Aiken, and there's like no nightlife in Aiken.
Yeah.
Not as much nightlife in Augusta as Columbia. Columbia's got great nightlife, but Aiken is just dead. At 9:30, the streets are empty.
There's a bunch of old people.
Yeah, it's a lot of retirement communities. And so growing up there, we would get out of theater performances, and it'd be like 10 p.m. and we're like, we're starved, covered in full stage makeup.
Yeah.
The only places we could go were IHOP or Waffle House. And it'd be like 20 of us would just like walk in.
Dang.
I mean, yeah. The staff was just like, oh no, brace yourselves. But I was at a networking thing and I was talking to a couple girls who are getting into film and they have theater backgrounds. And they were like, oh yeah, we grew up in a tiny town in Florida. Same thing.
Really?
We would go to IHOP, full stage makeup.
Y'all would choose IHOP over Waffle House?
Yeah.
What?
Red velvet pancakes.
What? I would always choose Waffle House, though.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's just the Waffle House in Aiken wasn't my favorite.
Possibly. I've never been to that one.
Yeah.
There's like 3 in North Augusta. I'm from North Augusta. I'm not
Okay.
from Augusta. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we had a lot of like theater kids in North Augusta High
There's
School.
not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't know of any community theaters in North Augusta.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. So
There's the only the closest place I know of is Augusta Players, but they exclusively do musicals, I believe. And I had a foray into singing, and I was just like, yeah, this isn't going anywhere. Just like straight acting.
you had a 4A?
Like I took vocal lessons,
Oh.
and I was in a couple musical theater, in ensemble. I never was felt like confident enough in my vocals to,
Yeah.
land a lead role. But yeah, like, man, some of these triple threats that I've met, my gosh.
What is a triple threat?
Oh, it's somebody who can sing, dance, and act.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I probably could do that. I'm just kidding. Probably not.
Yeah, I have a friend he's like a male soprano, so he can sing really high notes. He can tap dance. He's got 13 years of ballet experience.
Yeah.
He can act. Like, I'm like, how?
Is he pretty humble about it, or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's
Okay,
honest
good.
about it, as he
Yeah.
should be. He's
Yeah.
freaking talented. He's the kind of guy who will have all of the lead roles memorized. And on the one night that one of the leads can't come in, he's like, oh, I know the part. I can fill in.
Dang.
Yeah.
It steals the spotlight.
He taught himself to play the piano. I'm like, how do I become you?
Yeah.
But I guess in my own way, like, I taught myself to edit. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't go to film school, and I don't really think about that as something to brag about. I'm just like, yeah, I didn't go to film school. And then people are like, what? You
Yeah.
taught yourself to do all that?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, school YouTube. Oh yeah, for like anybody watching this, if you feel like, oh, I can't afford going to school for this skill, or am I too old to learn this? No, just go on YouTube, figure it out.
YouTube is free. I've Googled or YouTubed so many things on how to do stuff.
You can teach yourself to do it.
Yeah.
It's I was gonna say it's so easy. It is easy. It's hard though. It's like you got to put in the time and the practice. But if you're determined to learn something,
Yeah.
the resources are out there.
I learned how to do a backflip off of YouTube.
Sweet.
Yeah. It was scary.
Yeah. I would imagine.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, so you've done acting as well.
I have.
How was that? Is that nerve-wracking being in front of like a lot of people, and then like you just have to like act?
So if it's something that I've like memorized a script, like the first time I do it, especially if I really care about the people I'm working with, like if they're good friends, I get nervous. Like when I'm around my peers, I want to impress them.
Yeah.
So like if I'm acting with somebody that I admire their work, or if the director is somebody that I want to impress, I get nervous. I quickly, like after a couple takes or a couple rehearsals, if it's theater, will get more confident, and the nerves will go away. So I've just learned that you gotta like jump in, and auditions in person are nerve-wracking. The nice thing about film is, due to the pandemic, they started doing self-tapes. So actors will literally set up this exact studio,
Dang.
put up a backdrop, and film their audition. And they will often have like a permanent corner of their house where that's where they film auditions. And that's kind of cool because, you know, even if you have a friend who's reading with you in the scene, there's no real audience. So you're very in control of what's going on. An audition in front of like a live audition, and a lot of community theaters in the area do that, is nerve-wracking because, I mean, everybody's watching you. And you don't know if you're going to get the role. So that's nerve-wracking. As far as being in front of an audience when I have my dialogue memorized, that for me is the fun part.
Yeah.
Because I'm prepared, I'm in control, I know I'm going to give a good performance because I've rehearsed. It's giving speeches that I haven't prepared.
Yeah.
Like at movie screenings. And they're like, because like we've had a couple movie screenings for my documentary, Create or Die. And they're like, oh yeah, get up and give a speech. I'm just like, all right, let me just grab a cocktail, chug it real quick, and then we'll see what happens.
I would probably just revert back to Kanye's speech. I think what was it, the Grammys?
What did he say?
He said something along the lines of, everybody was wondering what I would do if I didn't win it. Now they'll never know.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Yeah. I love it.
Maybe you can use that one.
Something like that. Yeah. That's good.
But you're not necessarily winning anything in that sense. So
yeah. But screenings are very nerve-wracking because, you know, the audience has no expectation. Except maybe because this is a low-budget indie project, it's probably going to be bad. I mean, I usually go to screenings with zero expectation. And, you know, then I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Like, on the indie level, goodness, we're not working with much money. So, you know, who knows what the end product is going to look like. I always applaud any filmmaker who finishes their project, though, because just completing a project takes so much time and effort. So the director that I've worked with on a couple features, David Axe, he's the director in my documentary. He talks about in the documentary a movie he did a couple years ago called Beowulf. And it was a reimagining of the Beowulf story. But he changed some of the characters to female. So it's I like the twist. It's very creative, original, and a lot of people have done this story, so it's hard to tell it in a way that's fresh. But the script is so good. The concept's so good. Actually getting that movie made, almost didn't happen. So basically, he directed it. He also shot it and edited it. So he had like all of that responsibility on him. Like he was doing everything. And they get out to this location. It's called Eastwind Castle. It's like this medieval castle nearby. I don't know how far away it is.
A real castle?
Yeah, it's like they made it look like I've never actually been there myself, so I haven't seen the full thing, but I've seen several movies that were shot there. A lot of films will go out there. But I also know people who are into LARPing, and they will hold LARPing events at Eastwind Castle. So it's pretty cool spot to film. So he is at this location with all of his actors, and then everything started going wrong. His lead actress, who was supposed to play the main character, like the princess, like she shows up and is like, I'm not feeling well. And then they test her and she had COVID. And she had been on set. Like, it's not like she texted him. It's like she showed up on set. Thankfully, nobody else came down with COVID. But they had already postponed this movie, I believe, because of the pandemic. He was like, I need everybody to, you know, like, tested, like, be careful. Like, and she shows up, COVID, okay, she's out. So then he recasts the role to somebody who knew the character. But then, then her father, the king, the actor who's playing the king, Mike Amison, I love this guy so much. I've worked with him, and he's actually interviewed in my documentary. He's a character. He shows up on set. He 2 weeks before had been bit by a spider, and the bite had become necrotic, and he was having like extreme joint pain, and they're like, Mike, we need to take you to the hospital right now. And so he's out.
So he didn't turn into Spider-Man, though?
No, he did not.
Dang it.
I don't know, as far as he's told me. Maybe he's got secrets he's not revealing.
Maybe he is. I mean, I haven't seen him and Spider-Man in the same room. So.
You know, I wouldn't put it past him to keep something like that a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's out. So then he had to take the queen and give her all of the king's lines. So it became kind of like a matriarchy, which was actually kind of cool. I like that twist. And the actress Rachel Petziavis, who I've also worked with on Left One Alive, absolutely killed the role.
Yeah.
Like, she's amazing. But she did a fabulous job. But basically, day one filming, 2 of his leads are out. He had to take the script into the makeup tent, grab a pencil, and start rewriting.
Oh, gosh.
Just so they could film that day. Because it was either that or postpone the movie.
Yeah.
So they got it filmed, but when you hear the story of just everything that was going wrong on production, it's like, oh my gosh. So when you watch the movie, like, you can tell, like, something was going on, you know? And just when you hear the story, it's like, how did they even finish this thing? I would have just, like, gone into the makeup tent, had a meltdown, and been like, I'm gonna go get that 9-to-5 job. Like, so it takes a lot of guts to, like, push through. And you know, when you make the movie, people are gonna be like, oh, like, you didn't get that, you know, reverse OTS shot, or the lighting looks weird, or that continuity in the editing is rough, or, you know, that actor kind of stuttered over their lines, and you're like, yeah, because they had to learn the lines that day, and the lighting was bad because I spent the whole morning rewriting the script, and, like, you know. So that's back to, like, the criticism you're gonna get over your stuff. Like, nobody's ever gonna know what your struggles are.
They're only gonna see the final product. They're not gonna see the struggle that you put in before.
Exactly.
Yeah. So does that happen a lot? Do a lot of productions, like, get messed up like that?
I mean,
or a lot of, like, things just mess up?
You know, honestly, we joke. A lot of people I know in the industry have joked about, you know, just wait till you get the camera out and it starts raining.
Yeah.
Or a train goes by and it messes up your audio. I know somebody who shot a short film just for fun, but they shot all night. And then there was something where a fan was on and it was creating a flicker shadow on the wall. So they had to come back out and reshoot it to get rid of that weird flicker. It's man, I've had to do ADR sessions because the audio got messed up. It's
ADR sessions?
Yeah, so it's where you have an actor come in and they watch their performance.
Oh, okay.
And then they basically lip sync the audio in a studio.
Okay.
So they do that a lot in Hollywood, actually. Usually they're really, really good about, like, not making it obvious. But every once in a while, if you watch a show and you hear somebody say a line and it just sounded a little funny, that was definitely ADR.
Okay, yeah, I think I've noticed that before.
Yeah.
So
it sticks out like a sore thumb when it's noticeable, but there are a lot of, like, big budget Hollywood movies where, like, the entire dialogue of a scene will be ADR, so you won't notice. One of my favorite videos, it's so bizarre to watch, is Hugh Jackman for Logan. There's a scene where he's, you know, fighting these guys in the woods towards the end of the movie, and it's him in a recording studio just making all these, like, grunt noises.
yeah.
Like, pretending to do the fight. And so they've got a giant TV and it's playing the scene and he's, like, mimicking the movements, just grunting into a microphone. Like, that's such a weird thing to do, but that's what they got to do to get that audio, because there's no way he was wearing like a wife beater, like white muscle shirt, and there's no way you can hide a mic under that.
Yeah.
Especially with a fight scene, it's going to be rustling.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because I was just about to ask why didn't they film it then, but
Yeah.
you just answered it without me asking.
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, they try to get by with boom mic operators. So they've got like, I mean, I'm talking mics this big on a pole that's like 8 feet long, and they're just like holding it.
Are those pretty heavy?
I don't know how, I've never held one of that size. I would presume they try to make them as lightweight as possible for the sake of the poor boom ops.
Yeah.
I have a couple friends that are sound recorders, and I've seen them do their thing. I have one friend, Joshua Timmerman, who's run sound for a couple projects I've worked on, and he's got, I think his mic's about this size, and then he's got a pretty nice boom pole, and I think he said the whole setup was like, I'm trying to remember a correct number, but I think it was around $800, $900.
Dang.
I know, like
That's
it's an
pretty
investment.
expensive. Yeah.
And they have to wear like a vest,
Mm-hmm.
and it has like a box, and it's got all of their like sound recording like controls down here, so they can hold the mic and then just reach down and
Yeah.
adjust things.
Yeah, so like when they film with video, obviously they're using a camera. So like, how do they film with audio when they're on set? Like, what do they use?
So this has been something that has been really fascinating for me to learn, because obviously like audio recording is not my specialty. I'm a video editor, camera operator, director. So I always love learning about departments that I don't have a lot of experience in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so usually, for like anywhere you need to hide a mic, and you can't use a lav mic, you would try to use a boom. So basically, it's the concept of up and over. So the mic is like suspended above you, just off camera.
Yeah.
There's a skill to operating a boom mic, because you do have to rotate the mic towards whoever's speaking. So you need to be like super aware of who's talking, because a lot of the mics are directional. Like this mic wouldn't pick me up as well if it was facing the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Then there's lav mics. Lav mics can clip onto your clothing or can be taped onto you. They're pretty good. Like under like a shirt like this, you could tape a mic and it would pick me up. You just have to be aware of like, don't rustle your clothing. And then for scenes where actors are not wearing a whole lot of clothing, it becomes a whole challenge of how to hide it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, mic operators have to get like right up in everyone's business. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, you need to clip this to your bra. Like, this is strictly professional. But yeah, like the art of where to put a mic.
Yeah.
And I've been in situations where we don't have a sound guy. We don't have the budget to hire a sound guy. So we've got lavs or mics that we need to use. And then I'm the camera operator. And it's like, all right, Sarah, can you go figure out where to put this mic? Okay. Suddenly I'm like, I'm sorry, the mic's sticking out. Where do we put it? I can see the mic. Oh gosh, this is so hard. Like,
Yeah.
one movie there was an actor, Raj, who was in like a 3-piece suit with a vest. He looked very snazzy. He's playing a university professor or something. But we could not figure out where to put this mic to avoid rustling because he's wearing a suit jacket.
Yeah.
And it's like rubbing up against the mic. We ended up clipping it to his man bun behind his head.
Did it work well?
It did. We had to boost the audio a little bit, the gain. But it worked pretty good. But it was just clipped to the back of his hair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty snazzy.
Yeah. But I would love to sit down and talk to a Hollywood sound recorder. And you look at like some of these like superhero movies and some of these like outlandish costumes, like where are you putting the mic?
Yeah, do you try and like dissect movies when you watch them?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I love
That's
that kind of
pretty cool.
stuff.
Yeah.
It is. Like people ask me like does working in the industry ruin movies for you? And it actually elevates the experience for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, right now I'm in the process of color grading a feature film, Left One Alive, that we shot last May. And,
Is
like,
that the one with you in the wedding dress? The white dress?
oh no, that was a short film I was in.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That
I was
was-
like watching some of that one.
Yeah, that was a fun project.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for Left One Alive, I'm color grading it right now. And it's wild because now when I watch movies, I'm paying attention to their choices.
Yeah.
Because you get used to it. Your eye gets used to it and you don't really notice. But when you start looking at it critically, you start realizing, like, gosh, like it's so wild. Like I went all the way through the film and I color graded it, and then we had a test screening, and I was like, oh, this looks really good. I stand by my work on this movie, and now we've got the premiere in like 2 weeks, and I'm going through, and I had like a list of corrections I need to make to complete it, and I looked at it and I was like, oh no, the blacks are not black enough. Like it's just, it needs to look grittier. And so I was texting David, the director, and he was like, I thought it looked fine. And then I sent him screenshots of the changes I had made, like the rather drastic changes. And he was like, oh no, yeah, that's definitely better. But it just goes to show like how you could edit a movie like 5 different ways.
Yeah.
And completely change the tone of it. Yeah, but you were talking about, so the one that I acted in, that was a short film called Lux.
Oh, okay.
And it was directed by an amazing filmmaker, Kenneth Perkins. He's in Aiken, but he does a lot in the Augusta film community. If you ever want to get into acting,
Dang.
I can connect you with him. He's really, really talented. He does a lot of short films. And is hoping, I cannot wait for him to do his first feature.
Yeah.
I'm like, sign me up to your crew. I cannot wait for this. But yeah, he's got a really good eye, and he's a great story writer. So for Lux, it was kind of a collaboration with him and his best friend, Adam Cowart. And so Adam came up with this concept, and Kenny wrote the script for him. And it was, okay, shooting that thing, it was my first time doing an all-nighter.
Oh, really?
So we showed up at 7 p.m. and we left at like 7, 8 in the morning.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because y'all filmed a lot of it at night.
We did.
Huh.
Yeah, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
We filmed it in July of last year. And we kept saying, like, we should have filmed this in the fall because we would have had, like, longer nights. Because days get shorter. So that's actually better to film night shoots or any film that's, like, based in nighttime or has a majority of nighttime scenes. It would be better to film that in fall. You don't think about that because you have more time. But it was wild racing against the sun.
Yeah.
That was a wild experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Adam actually thrifted that dress I'm wearing for like $20.
Yeah.
From a thrift store. Fit perfectly.
Really?
It felt like a crime to trash it. We did.
What? Y'all trashed it?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Yeah, because the whole thing is like I'm running from this like creepy dude, and there's like a monster in the woods. It's very complex.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's basically me fighting off the villain in the woods, and I get covered in mud.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun.
It's so crazy that you bring up Adam Cowart because he was my Spanish 2 teacher at North Augusta.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I saw it on your Instagram and I completely forgot it until you just said his name.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
But yeah, that's so cool to see him doing that stuff. Like I only saw him as like my Spanish teacher.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So I just recently got to go to a soccer game at Evans High. So Kenneth Perkins is also a Spanish teacher. So that's how they met. They both are Spanish teachers at Evans High. And So Kenny also is a soccer coach.
Mm.
He's so multi-talented.
Yeah.
Filmmaking, teaching,
Soccer coach.
language, and sports. Okay,
Yeah.
wow. But yeah, so I got to go see one of their games and actually photograph it, which was fun because I was like, I definitely need to get into sports photography. And Adam is the announcer.
Really?
And it was so cool hearing all the students who were like, I hope he's announcing the graduation. Like,
Yeah.
apparently he's got a fan base.
Yeah, he does. I saw he has like a YouTube channel too where
He
where he
does.
does stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so he does. So he's actually secretary of our Southeastern Filmmakers group in Augusta.
Oh wow.
And so they
That's
meet
cool.
at a studio that's about 15 minutes from downtown, maybe like 20 minutes from here. Or no, yeah, probably just 20 minutes from here. So not that far away. And we get together. So we've got actors, filmmakers, writers, a lot of people who are trying to get into the industry. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool because then some more senior members will come in and you get connected and it's really fun. So Adam's our secretary, and he kind of like manages the Facebook group. And we have a monthly film challenge. So he started making like little videos for our monthly challenge. And he created a character called Itty Bitty Bob.
Yeah, yeah.
The little tiny guy that goes on all these like wild adventures. The entire thing. So I've actually been in, I want to say 2. I feel like I've been in 2 of his videos. Because I actually made like a little 6-minute docu-short on my YouTube channel about how he makes his videos. And I called it Green Screen in a Dream because he just hangs up a green screen against his fence in his backyard.
Yeah.
And he goes out there and he films and then he like makes everything look tiny in his editing software.
That is so cool. I don't know if he liked me though. I was thinking that, but I was like, he just seems too nice to not dislike anybody.
Right.
He seems like he likes everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Except I do hear his students this year are giving him some trouble.
Yeah. Hopefully, I was never on that type of conversation.
Yeah, I feel like he would get over it though. Yeah, he's so nice. I'm like, who could be mean to him?
I don't know. I feel like our class was pretty good, but that was back in. That was back. Probably 2016, 2017.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
I'm 27.
Oh, sweet. Dang, you're getting up in age. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I saw you also have an IMDb page.
I do.
That's pretty cool. Did you create that or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Dang.
I created it. Cause like otherwise, like you can't. It'll collect, like, if you get tagged in a couple different movies, IMDb will, like, collect it and, like, make a page and be like, oh, yeah, I think this is the same person.
Yeah.
But if you would add headshots and that kind of information, then you have to actually pay to make an account.
Dang.
So, yeah, it's just one of those things, like, with filmmaking and acting, like, you gotta, invest. A lot of the job sites, like Actors Access and Backstage, require annual subscriptions as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about making an IMDb for me, but I guess not now.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
I feel like, I don't know, like, I do know some podcasters who have created IMDb pages, but I feel like, honestly, for me, when I'm reaching out to podcasters, it's always through, like, Twitter, Instagram, or sometimes they'll have, like, pages on podcasting sites, that kind of thing. So through social media.
Yeah.
Because IMDb is good as a professional resume if you need that. But I feel like social media has definitely become more of the unofficial resume style for most people.
Yeah, like I don't have to send an email to everybody. I can just like DM them.
Right.
So, yeah. But yeah, how many podcasts have you like reached out to?
Gosh, I think maybe like 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just to like be on them or?
Yeah, I've been on 2 other podcasts. Yeah.
Were they in the Augusta area?
No. So one of them was a friend of mine who's an actor, and he actually just moved back to Maine.
Oh, dang.
So, but he's still doing his podcasts, Artists and Emotions, which is pretty cool because he talks about, he interviews different filmmakers and actors and talks to them about like also mental health in the film world. Because I think that's important. Like we were talking about how to deal with negative reviews.
Yeah.
But it's something that people don't talk about openly, which I think is important myself. I mean, even recently, past couple weeks, I mentioned to somebody, I was like, I really feel like I'm having symptoms of burnout because I have so many, like I have to work gigs constantly, you know, to pay rent, but then I've got all these other big projects, personal projects that I'm not paid for, other projects, you know, that like maybe you're waiting to complete it to get paid, that kind of thing. And so it's just so much going on. And just kind of trying to push through burnout where it's like, I don't have time to take a vacation.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about it except, you know, try to adjust my schedule a little bit. I know for me, like I sit so much to edit that I've been trying to like create a more consistent schedule of like working out.
Yeah, working
really
out helps. Yeah, working out helps a lot.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I would definitely recommend that.
For sure. And it's definitely like made a big difference, I think. But it's creating like a schedule that works for each individual person. And I feel like in the industry, people compare each other a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to be like, well, this person is getting up at 4 a.m, you know,
doing a cold shower
and
working out.
I cannot. I've tried to get up consistently at 5 a.m. and gave up. I'm like,
yeah,
this
you have to go to
isn't-
bed up by 8.
Right.
You know.
And so my boyfriend, his schedule is like he stays up till like 1 and gets up at like 10 or 11. And that's what he's been doing since college. And that works for him. He's most productive middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to realize that I actually start getting more productive around 3 and then later in the day myself. So
Like not 3 a.m?
no, 3 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I was about to say, yeah, you're definitely a night owl.
Oh, no, I'm passed out at 3. I actually, so I'm the bottom apartment, which I like because I can work out, I can have a little private dance party, do jumping jacks, and I don't have a neighbor downstairs like, you're making too much noise. But my upstairs neighbor, he moved in after I got my apartment, and he is also a remote worker, and he goes to bed at like 3 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
and gets up at maybe 10. And it's like an older apartment, so the floorboards are so creaky. So I have to sleep with a noise machine now.
Yeah.
Because he's walking around upstairs.
That's so
and
creepy.
I can hear it. But it's like, you know, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
And like the noise machine, I can go to sleep and everything's chill. But it is funny, like being around somebody who has such a different schedule.
It's interesting because like that's just another human being living life right above you, you know?
It's wild.
Some people get mad about that, but it's just another human being living.
Right.
That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
I'm not going to fuss at him about like walking around in the middle of the night because I'm like, he's not doing anything. Like, you know. But yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like someday I want to explore this concept in maybe a short film. I'm not sure what direction I would want to take it in, but it's very interesting, like not sitting down and having a dialogue with somebody, but being in such close quarters that you can hear them living.
Yeah.
I can hear him washing his laundry, running his garbage disposal in his kitchen, taking a shower. It's like the walls are very thin.
Yeah.
But it's like I know so much about his schedule, but I don't know anything about him because
Yeah,
we
that's
haven't
cool.
met.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like, how do I convey that feeling of like curiosity and familiarity with somebody you don't even know? I'd love to explore that in like some kind of a a story, but I'm not sure where I want to go with that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And I think
Yeah.
you should definitely try that because
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
It would be
Do
cool.
you think that he also thinks the same thing? Like, do you think he hears you and is like thinking like, oh, I wonder what she does? Like, I wonder like if I could talk to her kind of thing like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know because I don't know if it's quieter because I'm on the bottom floor, but that is kind of interesting. I feel like we're gonna run into each other eventually and have a
Yeah.
conversation.
Like, oh, I hear you awake at 2:30 in the morning. How are you?
Yeah. And sorry, I'm running my hair dryer at like 7 in the morning,
Oh
but
my
I gotta get out and like. No, it always hurts when it's like 5:30 and I've got
Oh,
like a
gosh.
ridiculously early shoot I've got to get to.
Yeah.
And I'm running my hair dryer and I'm just like, I'm sorry to all my neighbors. I gotta look put together, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Huh. Nah, they probably can't hear.
right. Let's hope. Whatever.
Maybe you should get this stuff that you can put on the walls so they can't hear you.
Like the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, would that work if I put it on my ceiling?
I wonder.
I don't know.
But yeah, so with like being an actor, is it hard to remember like your script? Because I feel like that'd be so difficult. Because I try and do intros like for the podcast and stuff, and it's like sometimes I am just not talking the correct way I need to be talking. You know?
Yeah, no, I hear that. Especially like, because I've tried to do like vlogs and stuff, and it's like the minute I turn the camera on, I'm just like, communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing where we string words into sentences and they make sense.
Yeah.
So as far as memorizing lines, so every actor has their own technique. I was just watching something the other day where Pedro Pascal writes the first letter of each word in his lines and creates this weird alien looking chart.
Yeah.
And that's how he remembers. I'm like, okay, that figuring out your way of memorization seems more complicated to me than just memorizing the line.
Yeah.
I have a kind of ish pictographic memory. So what I'll do is, and I also have like ADHD. So I've found like there was something on Instagram that gave me this idea where they had a paragraph and they made the first two letters of each word bold. And I found that I could speed read right through it.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. So what I do is I highlight like the keywords in each sentence with like a yellow highlighter. And then I run the lines over and over and I can actually like see it in my head.
Okay.
Like if I look at it enough times, I have it in my head and I just remember certain keywords that I need to hit. So like your, filler words, your and, the, prepositions, like you're going to remember that easy. If you just remember the words that you need to say, and then your brain will string them together correctly.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, and I have to learn lines as they're written, because some directors are like that. They're like, I need you to like, especially directors who have written their own work are like, I'm really going to need you to deliver that line exactly as I wrote it, because I wrote it that way for a reason. There are some directors who are very cool if you want to improv.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in that case, I say memorize the thought or the feeling of the line.
Yeah.
Like, what is the person trying to convey? And if it comes out slightly different, that's okay, as long as you're conveying that feeling.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
yeah. Right.
Maybe I should write a script for the intros and then do that.
Yeah.
And then they would probably sound better.
Yeah, even if you came up with like bullet points.
Yeah.
Like 4 bullet points of things that you need to say, and even if you say it differently, I need to hit these topics.
Yeah.
That's it, Yeah, but everybody's got their thing, and there's always that one film set where somebody needs a cue card.
Yeah. That would probably be me. I would not be able to remember them.
Right,
at all.
right. It gets easier with practice, honestly.
Yeah, that is true.
I think when, when we're in school, you have to memorize so much for tests. When you get out of school, it becomes harder to memorize
Yeah.
because you don't have to do it on a daily basis. So I feel like it's like a muscle that you need to like work on to get better at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe you could like have music just random music playing in the background, and then because like with songs you can remember them easy and like you can sing them word for word. So maybe
Right.
like play like a melody or beat in the back and then read them out loud.
That's really interesting.
I don't know if that would work. I just thought of that.
No, but that is interesting how we memorize song lyrics so much faster. Very interesting.
Like some people can listen to one song like 2 or 3 times and then know all the words
Wow.
to it.
Okay, this is like so randomly weird about the way my brain works. I will hear a song playing, and without even thinking about it, I can sing through the entire thing and nail the lyrics.
Yeah.
Then just play like the karaoke version,
And then, yeah.
and I'm like, I don't remember the lyrics.
Yes, I get
that
that.
weird?
Oh my gosh. I do that with Riff Raff songs, if you know who that is. But yeah, I can't think of it, and then as soon as the beat starts going and the music starts, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know the words, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
No, because like
Dang.
sometimes I'll be like, wait, I want to sing the song, and I'm like, oh, I gotta Google the lyrics.
Huh.
Oh, that's messed me up when I've auditioned for musical theater.
Oh gosh.
Because I'll go in and I'm like, I got my song nailed, like everything's good. And I go in and I've been in open auditions where like they'll just have people get up like in front of everybody. And I'm listening to them sing their songs. And then halfway through I'm like, oh wait, what was my song? Like I'm forgetting the opening line. What's the opening line? Like
Yeah. Yeah, like the opening part is the hardest for some reason.
right?
But as soon as you remember that, then everything else follows behind.
Right.
Huh. We need to have scientists,
I know,
studying
right?
this stuff or something. I don't know.
Explain this to us.
Huh. But yeah, what's like your top 3 like favorite movies as a film person?
So definitely adding Dune 2.
Okay. Have you seen it? Has it come out?
Yes.
Okay.
It just dropped. Oh my gosh. It's better than the first one.
Really?
It's the one movie that I would say I think it needs to be 3 hours. There's no way you could condense it further. And I mean, I did have to sneak out to go to the bathroom partway through. But the pacing of the movie, it was not boring, but it was paced just so that when I came back, I didn't feel like I missed anything. Like
I like
somebody
that.
was like, oh, you missed the reveal of this one character. And I'm like, yeah, but he was still being revealed when I came back. So
Yeah.
I didn't really miss the moment. Like, it's hard to say because that sounds like, oh, is it slow? Is it boring? No, it's not. But it's a good pace. So you can sneak out literally anytime, go to the bathroom if you need to. But 3 hours didn't hurt. Felt right. There's so much about that movie, the acting, the cinematography, the lighting, the storytelling that was just perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're interested in filmmaking or just films in general, go watch that movie.
Yeah.
Let me think. This movie is on all of my top movie lists. Nobody's heard of it. I just need to collect every person I know, make them sit down and screen this movie because I need to talk to somebody about it. It's a Japanese movie. It was made for $30,000.
Oh my gosh.
It looks like it was made for $2 million. It's called One Cut of the Dead.
I've never seen it.
You have to watch it. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean,
One Cut of the Dead.
I'm not even joking. I can't tell you what it's really about. There is a plot twist that comes about 45 minutes into the film. Your jaw will be on the floor.
You promise?
I promise.
Okay.
I mean, I'm seriously telling you, it's like you think it's one thing. You get about to, I think it's like the 30, 45 minute mark. What the
Bam.
frick? It was so good. Yeah, my boyfriend watched it, and then he told me about it, and he was like, I can't tell you anything about it, just watch it. And I watched it. It was like middle of the night, couldn't go to sleep. I'm like, fine, I'll watch One Cut of the Dead. I was like, I love this movie.
Yeah. Is that it right there?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's so
I got
good.
it saved.
Anyway, I love this movie, and I won't rest till everybody's watched it.
You're going to be staying up a lot of nights then.
Yes. Oh gosh. So you said top 3?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this is so hard because I have so many movies I love.
Yeah. Do you like Interstellar? Is
Interstellar,
that a good
I
one?
do like Interstellar.
I think that's the top 3 for me.
I do like a lot of Chris Nolan movies. Inception, one of my top favorites. I did like Oppenheimer. It was good,
I never saw it.
but it's really deep. It's not like one of those movies that I would just want to watch on an evening, you know?
like a casual watch.
Right.
You know?
It's hefty.
Yeah, you'd have to sit down with like pencil and paper and like
Right.
take notes or something.
So I feel like I want to put Oppenheimer on the list, but I can't really because it's like it's so well done, but it's also deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of like anything like Lord of the Rings. Like,
Oh, and Star Wars, right?
oh, love Star Wars.
Yes.
So
that's a
this
good
is
one.
why I can never like make a proper top 3
Yeah.
because I just really love. Okay, John Wick 4.
John Wick 4.
Okay,
Is
that's
that the
my-
one that came out, the most recent one?
Yes, best one.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh. Me and my girlfriend went to go see it and we didn't finish it.
interesting. Okay,
But I had never seen any of the other John Wicks. So maybe that's a big
so you
reason
just
why.
went in,
Yeah.
never seen a John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you guys leave?
I thought it was boring, but then again,
Okay.
I think it's probably up to the fact that I have never seen any of the other ones.
Okay, yeah. I
So I
can
don't
see that.
know.
I feel like the first movie gets you very emotionally attached
Yeah.
to the characters.
Probably.
Okay, so honestly, when it comes to and I've heard a lot of people talk about this. When you're building a story, you want to have something that's keeps the suspense.
Yeah.
Keeps the audience going, what's going to happen. John Wick 4 is the ending of this saga, this 4-part experience. So for everybody who went to see it, we've already had that suspense built up. And so I like it because it's a feat of stunt choreography.
Yeah, I did really like that,
Yeah,
though.
but
That
it was
part was really cool.
it was a lot. It was
Yeah.
a lot of fighting. So I can see how if you're not like invested as much into the characters, how it would just be like this is a little sensory overload. The best one as far as story would probably be the first one. And this is the struggle a lot of people have with building suspense that can be sustained over time, across a franchise or through a TV show. You have a lot of, your big franchises like, say, Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, where a character's on a quest that doesn't get completed to the last movie.
Yeah.
That's going to keep you coming back. The thing with John Wick is he's a hitman who decides to get out of the game because he wants to get married. But then his wife dies. This is all the first 30 minutes of the movie. His wife dies, and then some guys, some son of a mob boss, decide to wreck his car and kill his dog.
Yeah, I heard about the killing his dog part.
Yeah,
That's very sad.
It's hard to watch. And then it sets something off in him, and he re-enters the hitman world, and then it just goes on from there. But what it is like for the audience, you know nothing about this world that he's going into. So definitely, if you jump into the fourth movie, they're just pulling out all the stops. But when you watch the first movie, there's this suspense because you're entering this world,
Yeah.
and it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to rewatch all of them.
Yeah, but it was hard. I definitely get where people were saying it's hard because after the first movie, you've already learned about that world.
Yeah.
So now it's on them to like come up with twists and fight scenes to keep you hooked.
Yeah.
Because that kind of initial shock and awe is over.
Yeah.
The struggles of screenwriting, man.
Yeah. So as like a filmmaker, do you watch a lot of films that come out?
I do.
Like on a weekly basis,
Yes.
monthly basis,
Yes.
daily basis?
When I'm editing, I usually just listen to sitcoms and that kind of thing. Something that I can kind of half listen to. But I do try every week to sit down and like really watch a good movie.
Yeah.
I know like my boyfriend is definitely a connoisseur of films. So he's always like, he's the one who told me about One Cut of the Dead.
Okay, yeah.
But I try to, have people in my life that I can watch movies with because that's always more fun and talk to them about, notice little details in the movies. But yeah, there are filmmakers I know who maybe don't watch as many movies as they should.
Yeah.
And then others that I know that spend all of their time just studying movies. And you can definitely tell in their work.
Yeah.
So you really, to like get good at filmmaking, have to make a point of just watching movies.
Yeah.
It's not hard at all.
Yeah. Because I like film, and I like, obviously like big blockbuster movies. And one of my favorite movies, I didn't even think it would ever be my favorite movie, was the Elvis movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I haven't seen that yet.
What?
I want to see it so
It
bad.
is really good. Dang, I was gonna ask you what you thought about it, but never mind. It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. Like,
Yeah.
I was invited to it by my girlfriend, the same one that I live with, and like at the time, I didn't want to go see it, because like Elvis is for old people. That's all I knew about. My grandma.
But it's Austin
grew
Butler.
Up. Yeah, I know.
I get why your girlfriend wanted to go see it.
And I only knew Austin Butler from Zoe 101. Yeah, so like I wasn't like a fan of him, I guess.
He's in Dune too.
Oh dang!
He's
I might have to
so
see
good.
that one.
He has to wear a bald cap.
Oh gosh, that's probably weird.
He made the look work.
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah.
I saw some TikToks from this one girl who was like halfway through the movie. She's like, "Where's Austin Butler?" Oh, that's him. He's so good though.
Yeah, yeah. And then, are you a fan of One Direction, or were you?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
More like Harry Styles
Okay,
than the whole
so-
group, but yeah.
So you've probably seen this movie too. But another one that I didn't want to go see and watch was Don't Worry, Darling.
Okay, I still need to watch that one
Oh
too.
It has Harry Styles in
Yes.
it.
And Florence Pugh. I
And
love
Florence
her.
Pugh.
She's also in Dune too.
All right, well, never mind. I was gonna ask you about that one too.
Yeah.
But never mind. But what about Saltburn? Have you seen it?
No.
But that one's a good one too. You should go see it.
It is on my list.
You
I've
brought
been-
up.
I've been so busy making movies. I know. There's
Yeah.
like movies I need to see, but yeah.
That's probably true. But you said Florence Pugh. Have you seen Midsummer?
Have not seen that one. I'm slowly getting into horror, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of it and it's very beautiful. Like beautifully
Yeah.
shot. She's amazing. I don't know if I have a friend that watched it and she's like, "Oh yeah, that messed me up for a couple weeks."
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a chance. But no, I do have like a list of movies that I need to watch. I've just been so busy editing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish I had more free time.
Dang. Well, I would consider those movies
Yeah.
for sure.
But I love Florence Pugh and like Little Women.
Never seen that one.
Okay, so Greta Gerwig, so director of Barbie,
Okay, yeah.
has also done some incredible movies like Lady Bird and Little Women.
I've seen Lady Bird. I like that one.
Yes. Lady Bird was fantastic.
Yeah.
Saoirse Ronan, oh my gosh. So she did Little Women, which I feel like a lot of guys might be like, oh, that's like that really girly story, right? She did it so well. Like, I mean, she made it like such a poignant, just relatable movie. It's Saoirse Ronan as Jo, and her sister is Florence Pugh. Timothy Chalamet is in it. And what's funny is I was texting somebody the other day. Timothy initially likes Saoirse, who he also dates in Lady Bird. So love that. He keeps working with the same people, and I love it. They have great chemistry.
And Zendaya, right? That was in Dune?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he, in Little Women, he likes Saoirse Ronan, but then things transpire, like they're not right for each other, whatever. He goes off to Europe and he meets Florence Pugh's character, and they end up getting married.
Oh, wow.
And in Dune, he's with Zendaya and then realizes he needs to make a political alliance and marry Florence Pugh.
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
like, dang it, she's always his second choice wife. But I mean, if you're going to be typecast.
Yeah. What if they're dating behind the scenes?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Would they work as a couple? I'm trying to imagine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. They look good together on screen though.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
really do.
Florence
He
Pugh's
and
cool.
Zendaya have great chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That probably sucks for Tom Holland, though.
Oh my gosh. Well, she talks about him in every interview, so I think he's fine.
She's maybe compensating.
Okay. Man, that girl got to hang out with Austin Butler and Timothy Chalamet and
Tom Holland, who? That's probably what she's thinking.
oh my gosh. What a life.
Yeah. Imagine being a movie star like that. Crazy.
I know.
Getting to meet all these famous people.
It's got to be exhausting because
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of interviews for Dune too. I honestly like more than even sitting down and watching a movie. I like watching interviews where they dissect certain elements. So even movies that I haven't watched, I know a lot about because I'll sit and watch interviews. And I find that so fascinating because I mean, just sitting down and listening to directors dissecting scenes and how they filmed them is like, if you just sat down and watched it, you wouldn't even notice those details, you know? So I always like to do research on a movie before I watch it. But watching the press tour for like Dune 2 and just thinking about, you know, for myself trying to like do podcast interviews and screenings and stuff for my documentary, that's exhausting. These people are flying all around the world.
Yeah.
Like somebody was saying, like, oh, one of the Dune premieres where Zendaya was in this like gorgeous dress, she was sick, and she still had to get glammed up and go take photos. And
Was that like the all silver one that she wore?
I don't know which one. Yeah, but I love the kind of like suit of armor thing that she was wearing.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Like, wow.
If I was rich, I would probably buy like a night thing and wear it
Suit
around.
of armor, yeah.
Yeah.
She went to the Met Gala and did a Joan of Arc look a
Yeah,
couple
that's
years
what it
ago.
was. Okay. Yeah.
That was gorgeous. So she's done two suits of armor.
That's pretty
looks.
cool.
She looked very uncomfortable in the Dune one though. She's like trying to move in it, like
Like C-3PO.
I know. It did kind of look like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, no, like that's the thing like with filmmaking is like I spend so much time editing and making movies and there's so many movies I want to watch. So it's like trying to like balance, well, I've got like all this work I need to do, but then I want to just sit down and watch movies, you know, but that's not going to pay the bills. So I always have such a long list of movies I need to see. But yeah, it's like when I see a movie, it's I want to like take my time with it and really like understand it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, because it's so easy like when you're just enjoying it to like miss the details.
Yeah, you have to watch it a couple times to like fully understand it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I have anything else. Any other questions?
No, these are great questions.
Okay, good.
Really good questions. Really made me think.
Yeah, so sweet. But yeah, like what are you working on next? And like, do you want to shout out anything that you're working on
So
or have worked on?
Still in the promotional process for Create or Die. I've got 3 screenings lined up this month. So we'll be doing screenings, some in Columbia, some in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I post all of that on my social media.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am currently editing a feature film that I shot that David Axe directed called Left One Alive. And it's really good. It's like a horror drama. It's really cool. It's like a subtle terror
Yeah.
kind of
yeah.
movie. It's not like a gory over the top horror, but it's very kind of like a psychological drama in a way, and I love it so much. So we're in the final stages of color grading that. It's called Left One Alive, and so we've got to move into finding a distributor for that, and then I'm finishing up a short film that I shot last year called Simon Says. It's an action short. Kind of like a whistleblower thriller kind of thing. The story's kind of generic action thriller, but I wanted to shoot action.
Yeah.
And I got to work with some very incredible actors. So I'm very excited to start promoting that. It looks great. I love it. And then I co-directed with David Axe. We co-directed an action drama called Stunt Girl.
Oh, okay.
And we haven't started editing that yet, so that'll be my summer project.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited about that one as well. So that's going to be like 2025, I guess.
Dang.
So
Dang.
yeah, like so many projects in the work, and people keep asking me like, do you have a reel? And I'm like, I have so many projects I need to finish before I cut my reel, but I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. Dang, you have a lot of stuff going on right now.
I know. Yeah, we really did decide to film all of that all at once.
Yeah. Huh. I feel like I have a lot of stuff, but compared to that, oh my gosh. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. After we shot that film, and we shot Stunt Girl so quickly after Left One Alive because of a location thing. They were like, well, you can use this location, but only in October.
Yeah.
And then it ended up dropping out. And we weren't able to use that location, so we had to find a new one. But we had already cast our actors for October.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I guess we're making a movie in October.
Yeah.
So, why not? But yeah, so this year we're like definitely like, okay, we need to like slow down.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Sarah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me. This was fun.
Yeah. So it was a good experience, you would think?
It was, definitely.
Sweet. Your number one podcast experience, or?
It's up there. Don't want to make the other podcasts jealous, but yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you coming on and taking the time. I know you have a lot of stuff going on. So for you to take time, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for listening. And we'll see you in the next one, I guess.
Got my soul in a choke, I feel like I can't breathe. Keep my foot on the gas, my life in full speed. Feel like